that what happens in Genesis 6 is a cohabitation of fallen angels that produce giants in the earth. I know there's some who say, no, it's just the godly marrying the ungodly. Well, you know what? That happens still today, and I don't see any giants coming from that. There's something... Satan was trying to destroy the seed line that was going to produce the Messiah. So it was part of his plan of evil. And Noah was pure in his generations. So whenever God wiped out the world, it's because the seed line had been so corrupted by these fallen angels mixing with the daughters of men. I've got a lesson on that where we go through it in detail. It's on YouTube, I think. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Hopefully. If it's not, we'll put one on there. Check it out. Look, I realize there's people who disagree on that, but there is far more evidence to say that the sons of God in Genesis 6 were fallen angels. Okay? So, that wasn't the question, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. The question is, will it happen again? Because Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be. And he's talking about, in particular now, the days of Noah. He's saying that, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving, and act like everything was going along just fine, and then the flood came. Well, as far as the world is concerned, they're going to say peace and safety and then sudden destruction. But I think you can read into that statement, as it was in the days of Noah, that some of the things that were going on then are going to go on again. Now, look in Daniel chapter 2. And you don't have to agree on this, This is not a fundamental of the faith, Daniel, I don't think I'm right about everything, okay? I'm just telling you based on my study what I understand, and there are some things we can disagree on and still be in fellowship, of course. I had a guy on YouTube say that he took exception with something I had said recently, and he said, but I've listened to all your messages in the last year, and this is only the second time I've disagreed with you. And he said, so that's pretty good. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. You've only been wrong twice. But anyway, no, I'm not right about everything, okay? The Bible is. But Daniel 2, verse number... You get down to these 10 toes of this image, and the Gentile world powers are outlined by this image that Nebuchadnezzar dreams about, and God gives the interpretation through Daniel concerning this image. I'm going to tell you that the 10 toes is not the revived Roman Empire. Okay? The Antichrist is the Assyrian, and the heart of this thing that's going to happen in the 70th week is the Middle East. And Babylon is not Rome, it's Babylon. If you believe the Bible, there's no such thing as Mystery Babylon. People say Mystery Babylon is Rome. It doesn't say Mystery Babylon. It says that the great whore is a mystery. And what is her name? Babylon the Great. It said mystery, comma, Babylon the Great. It didn't call her Mystery Babylon as though she's not really Babylon. She's Babylon. That's the fountainhead of all idolatry is Babylon. It's not Rome. Okay, now Rome is significant. And by the way, I haven't looked into it, but everybody's all excited about, the second coming's about to happen because the Pope, signed some kind of peace world religion thing with a Muslim imam and all that. Yeah, things are interesting the way things are headed. I mean, things are coming together. Look, we're not going to see the signs of the second coming in this mystery age. But if you see the table being set for those things to be fulfilled, I think you can see trends toward what the Bible describes will happen in the 70th week. But we're not going through any part of the 70th week. But Rome is a player, for sure. The Pope is an Antichrist. Okay? There's no doubt about that. He denies the Christ of the Bible and has the audacity to think he's his representative. And but anyway, Daniel 2, verse 44 verse 43. Whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. That's the kingdom of heaven, which shall never be destroyed. The kingdom shall not be left to other people. It shall break in pieces, consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So these are kings that will be in the 70th week. Satan incarnates himself in the Antichrist halfway through the 70th week, right? When the man of sin has a death, burial, and resurrection, he becomes the son of perdition. Who else is called the son of perdition in the Bible? Judas Iscariot. Who was it? Did he not become Satan in the flesh, so to speak? Because the Bible said Satan filled him. And he's going to fill the Antichrist. That same spirit that was in Judas Iscariot. And by the way, when Judas died, it says he went to his own place. And there is this Apollyon, which sure looks like he's the king of the bottomless pit in the book of Revelation. And if he went to his own place, you can kind of put those things together. Apollyon and Abaddon, that's Hebrew and Greek for destroyer. And the Antichrist is called the destroyer in prophecy. So I would say that if the Antichrist is going to be supernatural, so are these kings reigning with him. I think that these 10 kings in the 70th week are more than men. And if you look at verse 43, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. Whoever they are, they're not the seed of men. Okay, you can't get around that. Just believe the book. You say, explain it. I don't want to explain it, and I don't care how it works. Okay? People say, how can an angel produce a giant with a relationship with a woman? I don't want to understand all that. I just believe what the Bible says. You say angels are sexless. Not so. Jesus made a statement that in the resurrection he said they'll be like the angels in heaven, which neither marry nor are given in marriage. He said the angels in heaven do not marry nor are given in marriage. He didn't say they were sexless. And Genesis 6 is not talking about angels in heaven. It's talking about fallen angels that came to the earth. And so Greek mythology is false, but it's based on something true that happened. There were gods that came down among men. I mean, how do you think the pyramids were built, right? I mean, there's a lot of things you can get into. Oh, come on. You think I'm kidding? You explain it. There's something bigger going on there. But, I mean, they didn't have a Caterpillar crane operating back there, I don't think. Maybe they did. They're probably some giants put some of those boulders. I mean, they're probably 100 feet tall for all we know. They easily build them things. But there's something supernatural there is what I'm trying to say. There's nothing in the Bible that says it's impossible for a fallen angel to take on a form by which they can cohabitate with women. The Bible doesn't say that's not possible. In fact, it indicates that it is. And so I'm not going to get into the whole sons of God and daughters of men in Genesis 6 because of time, but we have a lesson on that where we go into detail about that. And there's plenty of verses. So the answer to the question is I do think that it's going to happen again. And it has to do with the Antichrist and his kings that reign with him in the end that are destroyed at the second coming of Christ.